Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of my sustainability podcast. In the past 2 episodes, you have heard my idea of sustainability. What is sustainability in the first episode, and the topic of transportation and my ecological footprint in my second episode. This episode will be different though, because we are not going to only talk about my ideas. Instead, we will be talking about the idea of sustainability to other professionals in the automotive field. I've interviewed 2 people who have been in the field for decades and have seen the changes from conventional gas-powered vehicles to the electric vehicles of today. First, I interviewed my father, who has worked as a technician in a body shop for over 25 years. I asked him about how he views the electric vehicles that are being pushed for. He said, "Yeah, I don't know about the big push for them. There are a lot of complications in the body shop now that EVs are coming out." So then I followed up with the question, how is the repair process for an electric vehicle different than that of a gas-powered vehicle? He responded, EVs are very different in how they are constructed, but there are still many similarities between them. Electric vehicles have a large high-voltage battery pack built into the floor of the vehicle. The entire underside of the vehicle is the battery, and the motors are in the front and rear axle area. This makes the vehicles a lot heavier than their gas counterpart and means that the battery or motors can't be repaired. If the battery gets damaged, then somebody has to pay $2 to $10,000 to replace the battery. My father explains how the construction of the EV vehicle is different, so I also asked him if there were any problems when he is given an EV to repair. He said, the battery and motor operate on an extremely high voltage system. It is enough voltage to kill any person, so we have to be extremely careful when we are working on them. We are supposed to receive special training that focuses on high voltage systems, but it's hard to get into that training. Technically, we are not supposed to work on them being EV vehicles because we don't have the training, but we have to work on them because who else is going to fix them? To sum up my interview with my dad, I asked him, is the EV movement a good idea to help with overall sustainability? He said, I see what they are trying to do, but I don't think it is a good idea to just push it all so fast. We need to slowly work into it or wait until the industry is able to support EV vehicles. Electric vehicles have caused some difficulties in the auto body repair process. The high voltage systems are very expensive to replace and dangerous to repair without the proper training. Although they are helping the environment, the repair process is causing difficulties for untrained technicians. I also interviewed one of my previous instructors for an automotive program. He had been in the industry as a mechanic for over 20 years before he became an instructor, and he has been an instructor now for over 10 years. The first question I asked him was, how will the influx of electric vehicles affect the carbon footprint of the automotive industry? He responded with, okay, when you first look at an EV, it looks like it is helping the environment, but in reality, it is not helping the environment and instead more hurting it. So then I said, why do you say that? He said, our modern gas-powered vehicles are so efficient. We have little 3- and 4-cylinder motors that produce immense power for their size and achieve great fuel economy. All of our modern cars are designed with emissions and efficiency in mind. Most of the new economy cars that are being made are producing less emissions than most people think. The air that is going into these vehicles is cleaner than the emissions that are coming out of them. I was honestly surprised at how much he was defending the conventional gas vehicle. So I asked him, but what about the fact that they produce 0 tailpipe emissions? And he said, yes, it is true that they produce no emissions, but the mining of the metals that is needed to produce the battery takes an immense amount of resources and materials. All the machines used to mine the metals are powered by fossil fuels in third world countries. Those vehicles do not have emissions equipment and produce enormous amounts of emissions. More emissions than would be produced by a regular car during normal driving. So as a final question, I asked him, what do you think is a good idea for the sustainability of the automobile? He said, EV technology is useful, but fully electric vehicles are causing many problems in our current world because we're not prepared for them. I think using hybrid vehicles, a combination of a regular car and EV, would be useful to significantly reduce emissions. After having a conversation with two individuals in the automotive industry, the sustainability of the automobile is questionable. The repair process of an EV is difficult and expensive due to the complex high voltage systems in them. They also cause problems in the manufacturing of batteries, which creates more emissions than would be created from a regular car. The push of full EV is too much, but the use of hybrid vehicles is a great first step for sustainability in the automotive industry. Thank you for listening, and I can't wait for you to hear the next one.